The webinar for this time round, we've been actually trying to focus more on the gig economy, understanding the challenges and the opportunities the digital economy offers. We've also talked about women in the gig economy. We've talked about taxation and regulations of the gig economy. We've talked about agile. Yeah, so this module, this webinar actually, we've been actually doing it in partnership with GIZ, DTC Kenya, and gig economy. So basically, we were trying to disseminate information regarding the rise and economics of the gig economy. And it has been great. We've been to some different counties and doing it with different policy stakeholders. And the main objective also of this one, apart from giving out the information, is getting to know what are the policies that governs gig workers or that protects gig workers and the platform owners as well. So we've been getting good feedback from different policy stakeholders, and it has been great. So this time around, we are very happy to be this session, and we have our speaker ready to give us insights about the competition in the age of the digital platforms. And before I can do that, I would actually like to introduce what we do at Eldohub. And basically, Eldohub is an organization that focuses in tech, innovation, and entrepreneurship. We mainly focus in empowering young people in terms of entrepreneurship and businesses through technology, education, and mentorship. And through this, we also have come up with 4 pillars, that is upscaling of skills, mentorship and coaching of businesses, digital transformation of SMEs, and job creation. And we've actually come up with all those pillars actually have come up, are actually connected together, and it has yielded to a product called Sasakazi that in return, it connects young tech talent to the businesses with digital skills. So after we've trained you through Eldohub Academy, we also give you an opportunity to gain experience through digital project from businesses. And at the same time, if you're a business, we train on entrepreneurship skills, and we have Miliki program that supports in training businesses on the digital transformation and also entrepreneurship and the rest. We also have different programs that support mentorship for both businesses and young people. And yeah, we are based in Eldoret, and if you actually like to visit our office, we are in Eastern Avenue, just within not far from the town, and we are looking forward to seeing you. So without taking much time, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome our speaker, who is Nicholas Siele. I actually would want to introduce you, but Karibu Nicholas, and you can introduce yourself. Thank you, and Karibu.
Thank you, Sarah. Let me hope you can hear me well.
Yes, we can hear you well.
Okay. Yeah, thanks a lot for this opportunity. I'm Nicholas Kibet. Quite a number of things I do, but let me just mention that I'm a group HR manager to an NG group. NG group, we are in, it's an ISP. Let me use the word telco, as we provide solutions, connectivity solutions for our B2C clients and also B2B, some of our corporate clients. With that, I'm also an advisory board member to Shamiri Institute that deals with mental health and interventions around that space. Also, I happen to be an associate consultant with the Federation of Kenyan Employers, doing mostly their trainings, reading into labor laws, the items in the industrial relations space, and all that. But I'm also a member to the Digital Economy and Innovations at the Chamber of Commerce. So it's a very interesting thing that we are about to discuss. And I was thinking it through with a friend, and it's really a very unique space, especially for those of us who are having this discussion from this side of the world. I said this side of the world, I'm trying to address specifically around Africa, regards to our preparedness, the level at which we are, and also quite an appreciation of what's happening globally. So in our group, we operate in 6 countries. And when I get to, harmonize, the behaviors in that space, then really it's so unfortunate that we are this far from the happenings across the world. When we talk about digital platforms and also merging this with the labor and all that, we have very interesting situations which we are witnessing. I want even to call out the situation that we are in now. I know I don't know if it's true or not, the discussion between Starlink, the other, ISP and all that. And it talks to what we are even, seeing globally. How we'll approach, the competition. How are the laws even positioned for times like this? As a people's practitioner, I think mine has been unique, and I want to draw back to our experiences during COVID 2020. I think for a very long time, as the people's or as an HR practitioner, I think we've been telling people or dreaming of how we can be, working remotely, discussion about flexi arrangements, different ways of working and all that. But COVID actually ushered us or gave us a very good opportunity to even test our platforms to understand what performance could be in a different area, in a different space. How can we still run with all this and achieve the objectives we are looking for, despite not all of us being in the same space or handling the same things. So remote working codified during that time. But of interest at that time was a situation where we identified that there was a lacuna. Let me say there was a kind of a vacuum in our laws. I want to talk about, the labor laws, how, it was positioned and anchored. And let me say, it never anticipated the kind of a situation that we're having. If you go through the Employment Act, reading on the rights of the employee, what needs to happen, the rights available. And this one is talking to the leave, talking to the areas, the locations where an employee should transact from. Even items around occupational safety and health, that what defines a workplace. Is it living room at home where you could be exposed to any hazard? And if anything happens to you, we still call it a workplace injury and all that. So it provided us with a very unique situation that we know that our laws were not really designed to anticipate a situation like the one we were. Still double clicking on that. So what was the immediate remedy? Immediate remedy was the tripartite parties to come together and devise an instrument that could assist us to make sense out of the situation. When I talk about the tripartite arrangement, I'm talking about the employers, the representation of the employers, the representation of the employees. We have the unions, and also the government through the Ministry of Labor developed what was a tripartite arrangement so that it could allow us to have employees working remotely. It could allow us to even transact in platforms like the one we're having now, that for the first time, I want to manage discipline at the workplace, then I could do disciplinary hearing through a platform like this. But there was also, could there be, effects on the business? If both the top and the bottom line are threatened, what can I do? And that instrument even provided the suspension of some CBS, collective bargaining agreements, in government, there was salary freeze and all that. In other spaces, maybe like AQ, it allowed the employer to negotiate salaries downwards. Initially the law will not allow any of the terms and conditions of employment to be revised downwards. So that way, this instrument provided that you can place employees on half pay. You can still second a number of employees on unpaid leave. You can still even discuss with your employees on how we can temporarily suspend operations if we are back and all that. So it provided us with a very good space to understand the environment that we were. A lot of things then has happened, and we are seeing the momentum at which the government is, having this discussion about the digital economy and all that. And there was the famous thing about Aptengele, how it was to happen, how it should, and all that. So within that time, then still it takes us back to understand how our laws really positioned to answer the kind of situation that we are in. And before I delve to the presentation I had prepared for you, there are two things here. In Employment Act, it provides for how foreign contracts can be executed. If a person is hired somewhere as an expatriate, it provides the SOP, the standard of procedures on what needs to happen. And it talks to a number of people, securing the work permits, or even residency permits and all that. Different countries, they have different ways of, but it also talks to providing who is where, doing what, and special repatriation of items like pension and all that, and also part of the taxes that should be repatriated back to the home country. So that has allowed quite a number of people to travel out and also for gainful employment. But it comes back to a situation where we are having now. And this talks about the digital platforms where we are experiencing a situation where an employee seated in Nairobi is working for Meta, the company at Silicon Valley. So how do we define that arrangement? Could a dispute arise? How will we cure those items? And I know for those of us who have had interest in understanding the items at the Employment and Labor Relations Court, I think we have seen quite a number of cases trying to convince or move the court to make or define work arrangement. And we have seen in Kenya this summer, there's been a very interesting court case where the employees based in Kenya are suing now Facebook, Instagram, and all that in a bid to define the kind of arrangement they are in. So if this person fully based in Kenya and working for a company that is in US through these platforms, my question could be, how do we call that kind of a contract? Jurisprudentially, many people, they have said a contract like that will attract the laws of a country where that contract is executed, not really as a representation of the laws that should be applied when an employee was working in the US and all that. So nonetheless, that aside, I'll want to say that I don't think there is any country that has coalesced around providing a law that will understand or give meaning to this kind of arrangement. So I want to believe maybe at the right time, I think the case is at the Court of Appeal. So maybe at the right time, our courts will guide us on what we should run with. Nonetheless, I'll want us to see these platforms and understand what is in there. Are we really to avoid these things? And what will mean even if these tools are available to other people, and not to everyone. We have seen companies, huge companies like Amazon. So that online transaction, Alibaba, the kind of information they are having on a daily basis, or the kind of information they are harvesting, is set to their advantage. It's compared now to a company that is trying to run the same trade in Kenya. They protected in a way, or out of that undue advantage, there could be benefits occurring to Amazon as opposed to other companies operating in Kenya. So I'll want to share my screen. So just a moment. So Sharon, I don't know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Thank you. So so what we were saying is the most prominent transformation in the world in the past decade has been on all these platforms. So what we are seeing separating, there are those who are web-based, there are those we walk through with applications and all that. So it has been quite some movement for the last 10 years. And it's good that we are experiencing this, the decades of Amazon and Alibaba and all that. So separate from that, we also have digital labor platforms that are product of these movements. So work on this platform resemble all those other work arrangements. But what we are saying is it's digital. It can be transacted from any place that you are in. And this will lead us to quite a number of items, which all these platforms were to provide. And the nature of works, I know there was a time where we enjoyed or we got to hear of a company calling itself Task. I don't know if it's still there, but almost exactly like that. These are microtask platforms, designed in a way to allocate work to a specific person or even to a group of people. Mostly, you see anyone or you hear anyone saying, I'm working remotely for this company based in other areas. But the whole ecosystem, there are some people in other countries which they have decided for all this repetitive work, all this clerical work, we really don't have to work with that. We really don't have to get a situation where we commit our labor to items that other people can do cheaply. And for me, I've shared with my friends that I've transacted in an export or fresh produce export. And the cost of production in Kenya is way lower. If the same people were to plant crops in Europe, then the cost of production will be 10 times more. So in these companies, they're like, can we commit our spaces or can we commit our talent to what matters most? So that we free up tasks that are repetitive in nature, and these mostly are clerical. So what most of the people are doing in those platforms could be, like for the content moderators, Facebook. Interestingly, they are here at Nairobi, outsourced to a company called Sama. So what they do is identify images, get to see what's happening, play with the algorithms. If you flag an item, these are the people who will go through it and understand what was the issue. Was it violating community policies or anything related to that? So these are works that cannot be assigned to a machine. And at the same time, they cannot assign to their key workforce. So they have to place other people to run around that. But the very interesting thing around this space is how they are failed to classify those people as employees. Very interesting. I know there was a case it was in the papers maybe 2 months or 3 months ago about Uber. The Court of Appeal in UK, I suppose, defined those Uber drivers as employees and no longer as consultants. So the way all these companies, they have decided to short circuit stringent labor migration laws in place, including the ILO conventions. Now migrants should work and all that. These people, they found a way that instead of onboarding you as an employee, then they rather onboard you as a consultant. You are a company who needs on working for these people. So this has affected and really deprived most of the people of protections of labor and social security law. So the terms and conditions of working on the platforms are laid out as terms of service. So here you must accept in order to begin working. So when they assign a project to you, then they see you as a consultant. Then that way, they will not have to answer anything on the statutories required. Will it be the payee contribution? Will it be your social security items around the NSSF? Or even the provisions of medical attention, which as per the OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Act, each employer must provide. So all these people decided to short circuit this arrangement by categorizing these people as consultants. So you have people sitting doing content moderation, but each person is allocated a very specific identifier and also separating this person from what we normally call the employees. It will be interesting to follow that case because that will be a very big precedent, especially around Africa. There is no any other country that has really pursued those items. So those are some of the limitations when it comes to these digital platforms around labor. So there are quite a number, which I know we are familiar with, and from the commercial digital labor platform. So they assigned this task to the different people. There are those in the food market spaces. Like I know there is a Upwork, we have Remotas, we have all those others. And there are those also that are location based. So interestingly, if you see things like Airbnb, Uber, all these are opportunities for people to be employees. But actually, because location based in Kenya, then you rather onboard that person as a consultant. So interestingly, whatever it is that they are positioned, so you have an accommodation, you have an hotel somewhere. If you onboard it to Airbnb, then you are supposed to be repatriating a percentage to the parent Airbnb as a company. So that way, even the Uber, you get your car, sign, get the platform to do your trade, then at the end of the day, pay off that person. So I said the UK courts now said all those Uber drivers are not consultants, they are employees. So they should enjoy all the rights applicable to all other employees in that country. Courts borrow from different jurisdictions to arrive at a judgment like that. So most definitely, the same ruling will even inform the case I told you before of Samazos and Meta. Are they employees? Are they consultants? And what happens if we even outsource? If I decide as Facebook, no, kindly Sama, get those as your employees. But for us, between Sama and Facebook, we only have commercial contract. That commercial contract will provide for different items separate from what employment contract should provide, all that. So there are risks in those places, but at the same time, there are opportunities. Our markets are flooded. Any other time there is an opening, if you've been told the rate of unemployment is 70%. So it almost defines or it almost gives meaning to why those global companies will want to get employees who can work for them from Kenya and all that. So the first one, which is a very bad issue, is when they assign a project in a digital platform, terms and conditions, TORs, at times could not be the same. You'll find a situation where the same system that runs those platforms might assign the same work to 5 people. And if those 5 people will come up with different findings, then easily the platform will reject because it's an algorithm based. So that's the supervision has been relegated to that algorithm. So if the 3 of us will come up with different items, then trust me, most definitely the project will be rejected, notwithstanding maybe whatever it is that you provided was right. And if it comes to items that cannot be quantified, then trust me, people could be having different opinions around anything, and how we see things, our school of thoughts are different. But at the end of the day, if it's a subjective item, then there is no way 3 people will submit the same thing. So those are issues which people are facing. The other issue is it might not be clear. I was asking someone, and they have been assigned a project to research on something and submit in 72 hours. So how are you supposed to, qualify your sampling, qualify your data collection and all that? The other issue is non-payment, which I'm told the system, if you raise issues at times, then they just close your profile, and that's the end of it. Are there any remedies where you can pursue or get the protection of the law around that? I doubt, because as a consultant, the commercial contract can be terminated anyhowly. As the exit clauses in a commercial contract could even be a very simple thing as non-performance or delayed, or those timelines. Those makes proper and valid ground for the termination of the commercial contract. While if you are an employee, it could be a very different thing. Before you are separated from the place of work, it is an item to do with discipline. You've been accorded a fair hearing. It's an item to do with their performance or their proper goal setting. Was there proper appraisal in place? Was there alignment around the tools to be used to measure performance? And even was the employee aware on the picture of success and all that? So those are the items which separate an employee from a consultant. Employee benefits from the protection of the law, while as a consultant, it's not possible. It's only for someone to say that you failed to deliver this assignment, and therefore it automatically cancels the commercial contract we have. The other issue also is lack of communication, responsiveness, and representation. We are seeing communication possibilities between workers. You are working maybe in one floor, it will be 50 people. These 50 people, there is no way each of you is linked to the other. So everyone is operating on a silo. The machine assigns assignments, you transact, you make your claims, then you are paid based on that. So there are no proper channels or proper dispute resolution mechanism to handle most of the items which any other person working in a digital platform can use to raise all those items. The third one, there is a very big mismatch between content and the skills. The requirement, interestingly, people, you hear them doing some writings for these foreign bodies. These platforms are not designed to pick, so long as you have an undergraduate, anything, then trust me, you could be writing some papers for some university students somewhere, or you could be assisting some companies, to do their reviews. So something, online reviews. You could be assisting some companies in Lebanon or even US, working and manipulating their reviews just to convince the market that some of these results are really doing well, while in essence, it's just something which is driven by other, agendas and all that. So it doesn't factor in your specialty, what really you are good at, and what you can scale it up. So the rise of digital platforms has revolutionized the way we live, work, and interact. And we have all these platforms, Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple. They have disrupted really the business models across the world. But it came with a lot of issues, a lot of challenges. And I think even around that time is when we have seen almost every country developing their data protection policies. We have seen how our act talks about who are the data subjects, any company collecting the information from anyone. How are they supposed to store that information? All that. Will there be any leak? We have seen a number of farms here, and we have seen even the data commissioner finding a number of outfits when they infringe on what is protected by law. There are quite a number of items, and with those kind of information in these people, so what can happen? And I mentioned earlier what Amazon accesses, or what even Facebook does. Very sure if you go into your Facebook profile, you search something, maybe you're looking for a car, or you're looking for, maybe you want to move houses and all that. Just by that searching, the next time you get back to your platform, you almost get all the companies selling cars, pitching to you. The same thing if you are looking for a house, next thing you open your Facebook, there are houses all over. So these are algorithms which are assisting these businesses, the data harvesters, to define the market and also position at the expense of there could be another company without that platform, or with no infrastructure to harvest that kind of data to use it. So most of the time, this lead to dominance, and we have seen in spaces where we are. And, I saw some people celebrating that with the entry of Stalin, maybe things will change. While in essence, we want to understand for how long, if you are in a monopolistic space, how are we supposed to design our laws? Our infrastructures harvesting all this data are then giving us the undue advantage to talk to the market, to change even the consumer understanding and all that. So quite a number of items include network effects. The value of platform increases as more users join it. We see even X, it's just a platform. Maybe it could be free for some of us, but that was not it. They designed it that way so that it create a platform where they have numbers and they can sell now the space, advertising space and all that. There is an item of data advantage. So these platforms collect vast amounts of user data, which they normally leverage to understand personal preferences, what you want, what are these places you want to visit and all that. And this algorithmic control uses powerful to rank search results. They have powerful tools. So next time you want to search something, then almost definitely they'll prefer a paying client, already a person in their platform. So those are the challenges which we are facing. So the potential consequences of unchecked market power in the digital sphere are significant. And here we are saying it will reduce innovation. If there is one person who has decided to sprint the rest, then the rest can only play catch up. But other things are way out now. So small companies will be forced to run with what is working, as opposed to coming up with their own platform. So there is also aspects of consumer harm. Consumers may face higher prices, lower quality, and limited choices. If a company has said, this is the gospel truth on a product, and that product has really been marketed so well, it has been placed so well in the shelves and all that. What about other products in the same category? There is also reduced choice and fair competition. Smaller businesses may struggle to compete with established platforms, hindering innovation and dynamism in the market. Also, a very big aspect on privacy concerns, fast data collection practices of platform raise concern about the use of privacy and the potential for misuse of personal information. I think we've seen all these online companies. If you want to buy something, then there is money they are collecting. That has been also an avenue for cyber crimes and all that. We want to regulate? We want to strike a balance in that space. But as I said, we are having this discussion from a point of disadvantage. I've tried. There is no country in Africa that has decided really to define well this space. So this is an opportunity for us to run with. So governments are increasingly recognizing the need for regulation to address these concerns and ensure a healthy and competitive digital market. And before I take you through why that regulation is key, in Kenya, we have the Competition Authority of Kenya. And for those of us who follow them or will be having an interest on what they do, their companies, they are fined. I remember one supermarket, was it Carrefour, being told that they were, they were deploying, bad practices on supplier management, which was so undermining. They're also trying to control that space. We have had also, I saw a time where Competition Authority fined the companies in that steel space that they colluded to play with forces of supply and demand, which led to the cost of steel going up. So those are items which we have seen the Competition Authority of Kenya, playing and trying to be that space. We've also seen Consumers Federation of Kenya trying to share their thoughts here and there. But my question will be, as far as they have been enabled to transact in what can be seen and touched, are they in a position to also intervene in a situation that cannot be touched, like this digital or remote work arrangement? If our laws to this far never even anticipate that a digital or gig economy kind of flexi arrangement, how are we supposed to cure? If I'm a full-time employee to an NG group, then I can only be a part-time employee elsewhere. So that means part-time, I have to be a consultant. Our laws never anticipated a situation where one employer here will be submitting payee, my NSF and NHIF. And another company also I support there could be doing the same. So if this one is doing, then the other one I will have to onboard me as a consultant so that they can just withhold the 5%. Then I pay even the corporate tax on the other profile. So that's what is completely lacking in our space. So the reason why we really need to raise our voice in that space and ensure that all this, we dot all the I's and all that, is a fact that it will promote competition. Yeah, no one will outspring the other. Whatever Safaricom will be doing or any other practitioner or any other service provider will be running with, there will be no pressure. See, what separates me. Times what is different within the service provider could be their advantage. So it will also protect consumers that whatever it is that we are running with, there will be channels. If we had law on how to govern the digital jobs and all that, then it could have been so easy. When a dispute arises, then there are channels to resolve that dispute. Even our courts could be having areas which they can refer and provide a solution around it. The other thing also is regulation will assist us to encourage innovation there will be no need to adopt one way of thinking as the gospel truth. It will assist even as many companies to differentiate, to separate. Now, there is no situation where we'll be having the same platform or same systems and all that. It will also be on preserving the public interest. That regulation can address broader societal concerns as access to information, diversity of viewpoints, the potential for manipulation of public discourse. Even with that, there are challenges around even balancing the interest of everyone. So regulating digital platforms presents a complex challenge. It's essential to strike a balance between one, promoting competition, that we really want to enable as many people as possible to run with this. Why should Meta be the one with that monopoly alone? Why should Amazon be that one? Why even our neighbors can do those kind of arrangement? Can our call centers be supported elsewhere? Not really where we are, the data centers and all that. So aspect of also protecting consumers, so safeguarding user interest without hindering the growth of beneficial technologies is a factor of fostering innovation. How can we create an environment that encourages creative solutions to societal challenges? Also, the IP, intellectual property. How can we run with this without messing on what other people have already developed? So there are quite a number of approaches, which for us, I think, even in our country, when we talk of data protection, I think for us, it has been ex post regulation. We encountered a problem, then we started looking for a solution to answer those problems. There are countries who are before, they established the tempo, why they needed that and all that, and they proceeded to have the policies in place before emergence of digital jobs and all that. Also, an appreciation of sector-specific regulation, that whatever it is that is needed in agriculture or telco, or we do not have solutions that runs across the flow. The challenges before us and also the opportunities. I want to see the challenges as there is a rapid technological change. There is so much that is happening in this space, digital jobs and all that. They are happening so fast that we even don't have time to roll out a policy like real time. We have experienced these digital jobs. We have to court cases around them, but 7 years down the line, there is no tangible law that has been put in place to answer this kind of situation. Interestingly, even the ILO conventions are yet to really talk to this kind of a situation properly. At a point where we are almost getting the solution, like during COVID, yeah, we appreciate that there are a few things we have to change. But before even we settle, the carpet has shifted massively. There's also an aspect of global coordination. The market are seriously driving the way we should, the form and shape of the transaction. I've seen players being forced to adopt to different standards of working, different ISO standards, to what is needed for certifications and all that. So that global approach of things have made most of the countries, to stay back. There is no need. If the market will work with what the market requires. Also, balancing innovation and control. We are saying strike a balance between promoting innovation and imposing necessary controls to prevent competitive practices is a complex task, extremely complex. But the opportunities before us is one thing, that promoting a fair and competitive digital economy. So the effective regulation can foster an environment where innovation thrives and smaller businesses have a chance to compete. So that the opportunity before us is it's a platform where anyone can play. And it will allow us to play it so well regardless of our sizes, then that will play. There is also an aspect of the user protection, that the more the challenges, then also there will be different bodies that will be establishing or agitating for the law be established so that the users are protected. There are also opportunities around public and private collaboration. Here, we are seeing, I had mentioned earlier about the tripartite. Many bodies had to come together to define the situation that was in 2020. There is also shaping a responsible digital future. How are we establishing the accountabilities? Who is supposed to answer for what? And all that, what are the remedies? I said, what platforms box which remedy you have. I've seen people saying their WhatsApp has been closed or their page was blocked, so and so lost the account. So those are the items which we want to understand. How was the community policies violated? When we talk about community, what has community allowed? All that. So that brings us to the end of this, but our special emphasis is on appreciation that we really need a lot. We really need a lot. There is a lot of ground that needs to be covered for us to realize proper transaction in that space. If these systems will continue operating us or navigating our laws and onboarding our people as consultants, then trust me, even the government will lose it because we will not be in a position to raise taxes, will not be in a position to build the social amenity space because no one is contributing to NSSF or even NHIF and all that. At the same time, it will allow a number of people to take advantage of the whole thing and to understand, to take advantage of the whole infrastructure in a way to escape the obligations. We have seen in labor space, most of the companies outsourcing their services here and there. So the main thing, the court precedents that guided that was you cannot outsource to escape the liability or trying to lessen, to mitigate your items. Maybe you want an easy contract, a commercial contract that can be severed easily as opposed to one that will require you to provide safeguards around the fair hearing, around proper termination of employment contracts and all that. So I think that brings us to just a global overview on how these labor and digital platforms have been deployed, the areas which needs to be improved, also the areas which we have to start putting in the guardrails. So with that, thanks. Back to you, Sharon.
Thank you so much, Nicholas. That was really a great informative session. Yeah, at least we've learned a lot, mostly on the competition on the digital platforms that are available. We also touched base on the regulations and also the opportunities as well as the challenges. That was really great. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think we can drop some questions for our speaker, or yes, on the chat, or you can raise your hand on the. You can raise your hand so that I can unmute you. But then, Nicholas, I think we have one question on the chat, which is someone, Amos Langat, is asking, how can we regulate the imperfect market with numerous externalities? Yeah,
Yeah, so as I was saying, most of what we're having, even if we were really, and I like using the export space, the fresh produce, that for us to access the Europe market, then it has always been you have to get the global CAP certification, you have to get Waitrose, you have to get quite a number of certifications, including even what they normally call ETI, Ethical Trade Initiative certification. for those in the roses industry, those who are exporting roses, flowers, then you have to get the KFC, Kenya Flower Council audit. You have to get the fair trade certifications and all that. So all these items are trying to tell you that before we buy from you, then we must have an understanding on how you take care of your employees. Are those rights guaranteed by the Constitution? A right to even belong to a union, right to associate and dissociate. Do you provide those? When it comes to medical or benefits administration, how are you assisting these employees on 1, 2, 3? And we have had Euro markets saying, for one rose of that one rose you are selling to us, we are willing to pay 3 times the normal rates, but this extra, then you must provide maybe housing to your employees, you must provide medical covers, or even can you take care of their kids' school fees? Can you put up a school and all that? Our laws, they have said, if you have 100 employees and above, then you must have a nurse employed. You must have a place where you can do, if there is any issue that requires medical attention, could you be having, you must have a space where first aid can happen and all that. You must train your employees and all that. So all these items are market driven. So when you talk about imperfect market, Kenya is one imperfect because one, the demand is so erratic. For whatever it is that we are exporting, those are orders people commit to 1 year in advance. While in Kenya, by the time you're harvesting, you don't know even where that produce will get to. So it's a very clear definition of an imperfect market. But based on the external drive, then we have had to put in place all those arrangements so that we get that certification that will allow you to land your flowers in Amsterdam, in the auction in Amsterdam. So those are the items which I'm saying, not unless it's market driven, then if it is not a supply driven solution to the issues we are facing as a country, might really take long. For example, I've said that there are laws that needs to be answered well. Employment Act needs to be expanded to capture the gig economy. We talk about flexi working. What does it mean? We need to develop around accountabilities. When an employee working from home is injured or encounters anything, we still call that a workplace injury, all that. So those are just an overview of how you can see the imperfect market. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. We also have another one there saying, how do digital platforms use data as a competitive advantage? Yeah.
And I used an example of Amazon. So
yes,
in Alibaba, if you get to that platform, they ask you quite a number of items. List your age, who you are female or male, the age, what are you looking for, the address. So even if let me use for the retail industry. So Naivas right now has around 103 outlets in the country. Every single day, there are people who are getting into that space. Most definitely, based on recognition, then this could be middle class people, or we can say so. So with these outlets stationed in different areas, then trust me, whatever it is that they are getting from their system, every single day, the information that nini imenunuliwa, wapi. So you can easily say the west of Nairobi, the fast moving item is this one. In the east of Nairobi, the fast moving item is this one. How does it move? What time? In which date? Is this outlet depending on the end month? Is the one in along Makadi Road or Kaleria will be having a flat inflow? What are the kind of people frequenting those spaces and all that? Then that way it can assist the company to come up with, initiatives or solutions to maybe move products fast, depending on the data they're having. So, but trust me, whatever it is that they are collecting is enough to tell us if the country is doing well, how our purchasing power is, and also what are the future trends. If any other time there is a policy change, those retail outlets are the first people to identify that shift. What has reduced? Are people now stopping from buying large quantities? Are they dropping 10 kg for 2 kg? So those are items that will talk. If the flow reduces, if the traffic, so all those data, trust me, one way or another is talking to the business. And those who have the business intelligence department will easily guide you on what to do and which. Personally, I've also worked in an alcohol. I worked with Kenya Wine Agencies before, the HR business partner, and you can easily see the trends. So alcohol in this side of Thika Road, how does it flow on an end month? An informal sector like Kiturai, why do you have to send a 1 liter Kibao vodka while 350 ml are the items flying off the shelves in Karen and Oreka in Karen? Why do you have to send Kibao that no one will buy? Those are the areas you just push Malura and all that. So all these intelligence will guide you on how even you will schedule your production. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I don't know if there is another question that I left it out, but then if there is another question, you can actually raise your hand and answer it. So, and we'll be able to answer it. Sorry. So thank you, Nicholas. Thank you for being part of the contributors of this session, and yeah. So the next session that we'll be going into is joining Atingi. I think for those who have participated before, every person who participated in these gig economy webinars, we normally introduce them to Atingi platform where they can now access 8 modules, different 8 modules, but specifically we were actually under module 6. We were doing module 6. So I would actually suggest that Jones, if you are in, kindly share the link for our participant to access a Tingi platform. And once you've enrolled, kindly make sure that you enroll on competition in the age of digital platforms, and you'll be able to earn a certificate for free. And as the norm that we introduced while running these webinars, we said actually that we will be awarding the first 3 to share their certificates on once they have completed. Yeah, so I've seen someone has raised his hand or her hand. Kindly, Jones, help in, Mohammed Hassan, you can actually speak.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Muhammad Hassan. I'm a digital gig mentor, and I've started freelancing back in 2018. My question is, for Kenyans, it seems like, we charge lower compared to other countries when it comes to any digital job. And at the same time, for Upwork, before it used to charge, 20%, but at the moment, due to tax of 16%, maybe they will charge you a lot. So is there any advice on Eldohub or other trainers where they can guide or they can inform their trainees that how to judge and how to negotiate with the clients? because as long you're gonna pay for 16% to the Kenyan government and 20% of those online platforms, that will be roughly that 6%, something like that. So is there a way to advocate on that? Because it seems like you may see somebody who's saying, I'm online freelancer, but he is working for the platform, not for himself, because all the money will go to the transactions, be it PayPal, be it the bank transactions, be it the platform transactions, all those. So for instance, if somebody earned 100 USD, maybe he will get 50 or 40, something like that. The others will go for charging fees. So it seems like, we should advise, those whom we are training on how they can negotiate the clients, how they can inform the tax, all those things. Back to you.
Thank you, Mohammed. I'm actually, I did, as I was also a gig worker at, what we call this, Upwork before. And it did have as much as deduction before, but I'm not sure about today. But what I can comment is that maybe when someone is actually looking for the best platform to work on is maybe it's good to do a research first, take a look at the reviews from the rest of the platform users, like if they are doing much of the deduction, what exactly are the deduction for, how much are they going to pay. At the same time, when you are bidding for any opportunity, make sure that you understand the terms as well, because in most cases, most people or most gig workers, they ignore the terms. It's always good to read the policies that comes with those platforms. There are those platforms actually that have hidden terms, and which it can affect. It comes in and affects you later on. So it's always good to read the what do you call the terms. There is also one concern was shared during when we were in Kisumu gig economy workshop. Someone was mentioning that he has been working for this specific platform for some times. Later on, he realized that it was a second, it's something like, what do you call this, a broker. So it's a second person giving the person opportunities, but then they end up actually disappearing and not giving the money. So you've spent your time working on something, but in the real thing, you ignored the terms of the policies that was in between. So one of the key things that we also focus in is ensuring that you understand the policies that comes with any platform that you sign up for. I don't know, maybe Nicholas, you can also add something on that.
Yeah, I fully, as I said, we lost it when we allowed these people to onboard these users as consultants. And as I said, protections around this other side are okay. In fact, it even includes the minimum wage which a person is supposed to be paid and all that. As a consultant, even 100 shillings is okay. We have seen a situation in Nairobi where Uber drivers, I think they staged a protest till the rate was revised. So those are the maybe avenues. Maybe we want to establish unions now in those spaces, or representatives in those spaces who can make sense of the spaces we are in. We are also seeing, and I think Ahmed has captured it well, that there are proposals maybe on how to tax this digital and all that, while in essence, people are feeling that maybe they are working for these platforms only. It talks a lot when you request for an Uber, and that person on the other hand is asking you to go offline. I was failing to understand that, but now I get what it means really well. When they ask you, it's night, imekuletea ngapi hapo? Imekuja 450. Si ufanye 700 ama nini? Those are the items which I think we are facing, because we are yet really to define and assign our work, value. So we need some assistance on that, to arrive at the pay points for any digital undertaking. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mohammed, I hope your question was answered.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. So we also have Kerry Juma. Yeah, go ahead. And please don't forget to sign up for our Atingi, and please make sure that you are focusing on the competition. You are learning the competition in the age of digital platforms. And once, yeah, go ahead, Juma.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. Am I clear?
Yes, you are.
Thank you very much, Madam. I'm very much happy to be in this platform. In 2 years ago, I tried to work with Upwork, but I didn't know things like competitive law. Now, if you don't know these policies, you don't know whether you break these policies or whether you are on the safer side. But even by the time I was doing that Upwork job, I didn't know even my rights as a labor. But I thank the stakeholders of this platform for bringing such kind of program, because these programs, they are helpful, and then specifically to me, I find they are changing my mindset. The way I was, I'm seeing there's some changes, because there are some policies that I didn't know whether uh, this policy is right or this policy is wrong. And now I think having this kind of program, this will be channeled to to many people as possible, so that, because we don't have this kind of knowledge, so that if we don't have this kind of knowledge, you cannot know whether we are doing the right thing or we are doing the wrong thing. Otherwise, I don't have much to say. I just want to thank the stakeholders and all the people that are working day and night, so that the economy to be effective. Otherwise, thank you very much.
Thank you as well. Thank you for your compliment. We appreciate, and we are happy that you're gaining something from this session. Thank you so much. So this has been great. I don't know if anyone has any comment. I think I've seen someone also raised his hand. I think her hand, Joyce Atieno. So I think this will be the last question or the comment, because of the time. Meanwhile, Jones, kindly share the feedback link for our participants to share their feedback and comments on a simple link that we came up with. So go ahead, Joyce. Hi, Joyce, we can't hear you. Kindly unmute and speak. Okay. Meanwhile, Jones, kindly share the link. Yeah, anyone who has a comment or concern, or maybe, yeah, you can go ahead and say something. Raise your hand and then I'll unmute you.
Am I audible now?
Oh, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I was saying I joined Upwork recently. But okay, to me, okay, applying for those gigs, I found them kind of restrictive.
Yeah.
I don't know what is it is me who is finding it restrictive, in terms of the kind of job maybe I want to work in line. Okay, the job I want to work within that line. Like I wanted to take a technological gig within the IT framework. But now, like I could not go for networking and go for website development and web design, something of the sort. So, and again, if at all I can get help, are there maybe communities that are career based that can help me, to get a gig within that line?
Okay. So actually, I think what I can tell you about the restriction in the Upwork is that I think someone else, maybe Mohammed, can correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes it depends also on how you've built your profile, because trust me, they would actually take a look at your profile as well, and also what you've your area of interest you've shown when you're building or when you're setting up your profile. Yeah. And then I think, yeah, Mohammed, you can say something?
Sure. Okay. I think one thing that is needed from our sister is to change her mindset, mindset is, you have to change your mindset first. Secondly, how many times did you apply jobs? That's a question. You may see somebody who will tell you, I have applied job once in a while. How did that person will get a job? You see, you have to apply jobs on regular basis, you see. And also, you have to apply job immediately when the client posted it. Secondly, you must have a good portfolio. Thirdly, you have to give a discount to your client for you to get some reviews. When you get maybe 5 reviews or 6 reviews, after that you can raise your rate, and some clients can trust you. Thirdly, I will advise you to join communities like, there are Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, those whom you're offering the same service. For instance, if you're a web developer, join web developer groups, learn from those guys, tell them what you do, ask them how they do, and that's how you can learn from them, you see. If you are a translator, join the translation groups in Facebook, in LinkedIn, all those. Also learn how to write killer proposal. One thing that kills, most of the junior freelancers that I have seen is they do not know how to write a killer proposal. Back to
By
you.
a killer, what do you mean?
A killer proposal, I simply mean, for instance, if I posted a job on Upwork today, you must write, you must write a killer proposal. Simply means for instance, I said I need a web developer. Do not tell me that, you are a web developer for 10 years or 30 years. No, show me how you can do my work. You see, share with me samples, a sample that you have done. Tell me how you can assist me. Do not talk about yourself. Talk about how you can solve my problem. And that is the only way I can consider you. So most of the guys you will see, they will tell you, I have 20 years, I have 30 years, and they will not share with you, a sample or how they can do your work or the time frame. For instance, if this job is urgent and the client wants maybe within 5 days, tell them that you can deliver his or her work within 4 days, something like that. You see, share the sample that you have done previously. So most of the people will look over best thing. They will look over best thing.
Okay. What if you are new? Okay, you've not even gotten a gig yet. You are new to this platform, and you don't even have that portfolio itself. So how do you go about it?
Okay, you can say that one. Yes, you can say for such that one you can say that. For instance, let's say in Upwork, there are two jobs. One is hourly and the other one is fixed price. If the fixed price of this client is maybe let's say 200 USD, you can say to this client, I will do this task 150. I'm new to the Upwork, but I'm not new to the kind of job that I do. It is something that I used to do it, but I'm new to the Upwork. For that reason, I will not judge you 200 USD for fixed price. I will judge you 150. And what we can do is let us have milestone where I will deliver first milestone. If you're satisfied, then I will complete the rest. You see, So you are giving assurance to this client that you see you can do it. One, you give him a favor that you lower your price. Second thing, you are saying I'm doing your job in milestone, where you will do the first milestone. If he or she is satisfied, then you are doing the remaining thing. You see.
Okay. So it is just a matter of negotiation.
It's a matter of negotiation, yeah, you see. And for portfolio, what you can do is you can ask your friend or your colleagues or your family, and you do for them a job where you will use it as a portfolio. Even if it's not real job that you did for another person, but it's still you are using as a sample, you see, portfolio, so that you will show this client of X or Y that you did this job.
All right.
Yeah, or even sometimes you can join, for instance, if you are a translator, you can join to Translation Without Borders or other non-profit organization, and you do for them free services so that you gain the skill. After you gain the skill, then you can work it, you see. So most of the things that I see for people, even when we are hiring, some of them will tell you that we did this, and if you give them the actual work, they cannot do it. Because in Upwork or in other platforms, there's nothing called free sample, but paid sample, you see. So what do I mean paid sample? For instance, if this is maybe something that is you can do it 100 USD, you can say it's a sample, let me do it maybe $20. You show this button, you get the confidence of the client, and the client will hire you every time.
All right. That's informative. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. And just to add on what you've said is that what I normally encourage people to do is that every time when you go for an internship, don't just go sit comfortably in where you're not doing something and that you will be able to use it later. Even if you're working on something, make sure you do it to your best to make sure that whoever you're working for, at least you can say in the coming future, this is what I did, or those people have actually host it somewhere. And also you can actually build in your profile in GitHub so that you can be revering your clients to what you have done. So every time when you do something, make sure you host it, even if it's simple. And as also Mohammed has mentioned, your family members, your friends to give you maybe a job opportunity, even if it's a website. You see someone having a shop somewhere, you can actually ask them, I know how to build a website. You build that website, host it for there. So many platforms that you can actually host those platforms. There are those platforms for free, and you can actually be referring those, and it enables you to build that profile of yours or portfolio. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I think that marks actually the end of our session. We've actually gone beyond the time. I'd actually promised to take 1 hour, but thank you. It has been actually very engaging, and I'm sure everybody actually have gone out, will be leaving here with something that they have learned. So kindly take a few moments as we log out to give us the feedback. We've shared the link on the chat. We have also recorded this. We'll be sharing the recordings on your emails. Thank you so much, and we appreciate you. If you actually have any questions or you need more information about what we do at Eldohub, feel free to follow us on our social media at Eldohub. And yeah, maybe your city will be the next we'll be visiting. We still have 2 more workshops to go. And yeah, just follow us on our social media. If you are within Eldoret, visit our office. I'd mentioned that we are in Eastern Avenue, Eldohub. Yes. Thank you so much. Don't forget to give us feedback.
Oh, how do I become a big group?
Thank you so much. And if you have any question, feel free to raise your hand and say something.
Regulations.
Yes, Mohammed, you can go ahead.
I think I think there's somebody who was asking you how can I become a gig worker. I think the best advice is, if you are working even for organization or any other place, start with part-time. You can be a part-time freelancer where you will learn the skill that you want. And then maybe after 2 years or 3 years, when you get good clients, you can become full-time freelancer. So starting is not the issue, constant is the issue. So if you can implement or you can sacrifice maybe an hour or on each day, you can become a great mentor. For me, back in 2018, when I started this freelancing, I was trained by Somersault in a refugee camp. And that time I wasn't know even how to say art in computer. Live about. And at the moment, I have an organization that supports host communities and refugees. I work as online freelancer. My earning is coming from online. We train people, you see. So everything is possible if you have the right mindset. Back to you.
Thank you for noticing that, Muhammad. Thank you so much. Yes, you mentioned that you start small. Yeah. And you can actually also take a look at least take a look at Upwork, also other freelancing, other digital labor platforms. We also have Sasakazi. Sasakazi, we match young people who have technical skills to businesses. And maybe actually what we can do is, like, if you sign up for it, though we actually vet you on the area or on the area that you've mentioned that you're going to focus on. If you say your digital marketing, we have to vet you on that to just actually affirm us that you can really deliver on that job. And it goes for 3 months and you'll be paid as stipend. So from there, you can actually be able to practice whatever you're good at, and it can open more doors for you in the gig work. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes, Dennis.
Wow. I was really looking for that microphone. I'm sorry. So this is Dennis from Hopewell Farm in Eldoret. This is outside what we were talking about today, but I saw a post of an event happening next week. I really want to hear more about it and how basically more about it. I don't want to tell you to sell, but I would want to come with friends that I want to sell to them. So I want to know more about it.
Okay, the one for Hub. The one
The
for
festival,
EdTech.
festival.
It's about EdTech, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually more on startups, EdTech startups. If you're an education, maybe a startup focusing on education technology, you can actually come in. We'll be having trainings. You can also just come in, pass by to come and see because they will be also exhibiting their ideas. So you can also as well come in to come and learn or find out what other people are doing. So, and it's going to be 2 days, right, Jones? Yeah, so the first day will be workshop, basically trainings, and then the second day will be exhibiting. So those startups will be now given opportunity to exhibit and showcase their ideas. Yeah. You're welcome. All right. So I think we can now say that thank you for joining us on this session. And yeah, asanteni sana. We'll communicate if we have other events. We'll also actually loop you in, and yeah, we'll be happy to see you if it's physical or if it's still an online event. Thank you so much. You feel free to leave. Yes, Dennis. All right. Bye, everyone. Don't forget to give us feedback. Yeah, thank you so much, Patrick. We're happy to see you. Mm. Thank you so much for joining in. We'll actually end the Thank you so much and have a good evening.